We've got NFL Hall of Famer. We've got Heisman Trophy winner and Arena League Commissioner Tim Brown with us. Good golfer. Hole-in-one in his ledger in the last year. Tim, great to have you here. You having
Good to
fun?
be here. I'm having a good time, man. Playing bad golf, but I'm having fun. You know what I mean?
It seems to be a common theme that everyone's playing bad. Who's playing good?
Well, the about 20 guys on that leaderboard is probably the guys who feel good about their games. But this game is just so difficult, man. But, the competition of it all just makes it all better, makes it just that much better for everybody.
You want to start college or you want to start NFL?
No, I want to start in high school, actually.
Oh.
Because when we have guests on, I always read their wiki page. Mm-hmm. So you told your parents you played in the band and you were playing football?
Yeah, well, it was, that story has been, stretched over the years.
Then tell the story.
So the story is I was in the marching band my freshman year, but I was playing freshman football also. But I was in the marching band for the varsity on Thursday and Friday nights. On my sophomore year, I made the varsity team, and my mom thought I was still just playing in the band until I went off and had an incredible sophomore year, the first semester, and then they everybody kept calling her and saying, "Hey, your son's in the paper. Your son's in the paper." So she's looking in the life section. What did you do? What did you do? I said, "Mom, maybe you should look in the sports section." And she was just as upset. My mom is a real Christian woman, and she thought, football and sports was a devil, a workshop. And so my dad worked it out, though. He got it. He worked it out. I don't know what he did.
It worked out.
Okay, he worked it out for me. So.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay, so then now let's go to college.
Yeah, Notre Dame. Why Notre Dame? You're from Texas. Why Notre Dame?
My mom and dad.
Are you Catholic?
No, I'm not Catholic. No. As a matter of fact, my mom asked Jerry Fowles, "Are you going to try and convert my boy?" My boy took Catholicism. So that was the only question she had. She didn't know anything about
football. What was his answer?
What's that?
What did he say?
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. We have plenty. We had them Baptists, and we had them.
Yeah, we're good.
So no, man. During that time, man, education was a pretty important thing, and my brother, who had followed Notre Dame, strangely enough, and knew all this stuff about them, knew enough to say that this was one of the best educations you can get. And so he told my mom and dad. My mom, a housewife, my dad worked construction. And they was like, "Hey, we don't want you working with your hands, like I have to do all these years. So, you need to go to the best place where you get the best education." And
it's a network, though, right, for Notre Dame? Because I played in Chicago for 8 years, so there's a lot of Notre Dame fans that have never been to a Notre Dame game. They just root for Notre Dame because it's the only team that is close to Chicago, and they love them. But it's about the network. It's not. It's the education obviously is great. But then once you graduate, there's people all over the world that, I went to Notre Dame. They know what it is.
No doubt. We knew nothing about the network at that time, but once I was getting heavily recruited by the ND, the Joe Hager of Hager Slacks, he was in Dallas, had all these people, so you get invited to stuff. You're like, okay, well, maybe this is a little special, but SMU would have been just as good. But they just decided to do something.
You were on Pony Express?
I would have, if not for my brother, because I didn't know any better. They had done some things to let me know that they would do anything they could possibly do to bring you there. But other than that, man, but it was a good academic school, So, but once they started the cheating stuff and, they would come to my basketball games, man. I shake hands, $1,500. Shake hands, $1,500. Shake hands. Had all these coaches there, man. I walk away with $5,000 cash.
Damn.
Here I am, 16 years old, a junior in high school, walking around. And I can't tell my mama, can't tell my daddy. I just hid the money in my room. Not
Notre Dame though, right?
Oh no, man.
No, Notre Dame's holier now. They would never do anything like that.
They wouldn't. And I tell you what, I would have been so disappointed if they would have, because, when you get there and you find out what the university is all about, for them to waste that reputation on one guy is not worth it. You know what I mean?
So you won a Heisman Trophy, though. You're in the College Football Hall of Fame. I mean, it's kind of worth it.
I was, just a guy when I first got it. You have to, the very first time I touched the ball at ND, my opening play, my freshman year, I fumbled the opening kickoff.
Oh,
no.
So Jerry Fowles was under fire. So, the next 2 years, I rarely played. I mean, I was playing a little bit.
Until Lou got there?
Lou got there, and, after 2 days of spring ball, it was like, okay, you can win a Heisman Trophy.
You wasn't wrong.
Hey, I didn't think he was right either because I was looking at him like, bro, who you talking about? I was like, look, I came here to get an education. I'm going to go back home, marry my high school sweetheart, be a deacon in the church. He was like, dude, you can have all that and you can have this football career too. And I had never thought about that because my family had done such a great job, education, that I just never thought about it.
But how did they miss that for 2 years? Just because you fumbled?
That's why Faust wasn't there.
Well,
that's why he was gone.
Yeah, I mean, I played. I scored touchdowns and all that, but I wasn't featured. I wasn't, it wasn't a game where I went into where they were saying we're gonna get the ball to Timmy. You know what I mean? But when Coach Holtz got there, he told me, he said, look, if they find a way to intercept the snap from the center to the quarterback, I can't get you the ball. But if the center get the ball to that quarterback, I'm gonna get the ball in your hand some kind of way. So, and that's what he did.
That's amazing. Are you upset? And I love asking people this, and I don't love asking Marty Fish, look at him. He wants no shoes on, wants time. And another Domer's coming over. Look,
They're everywhere around here.
But, you have Preston all over them. You won a Heisman Trophy, so you got Preston all these other Domers over here. Just 88, they win. 87, you set the standard, right? Tony Rice, that whole team, Catholics, convicts, that whole thing.
Yeah. And that's how we felt. I mean, when Coach Holtz got there, he said to the upperclassmen, he said, guys, we're going to win a championship in 3 years, right? And he said that and just waited, right, to let it sink in, right? Because, you can see guys going, hey, wait a minute, man. I'm a senior. I'm a junior. I won't be here in 3 years. But he said the only way it's going to happen is if you guys buy in. Because if you guys don't buy in, then that means 2 years from now, I'm going to still be trying to get the team to that level. But if y'all buy in now, we'll be there in 3 years. And so it was pretty interesting to see them get there and win it, in the third year, because that's what Coach Hill said in his first meeting with us. That's what he told us, that we're going to win a championship in 3 years.
All right, before I know we weren't going to get to golf, talk about the Pro Rivals Open, but I got to ask NFL. So Raiders, 16 years?
16 years, yeah.
L.A. and Oakland.
L.A. and Oakland, yes.
And then Tampa.
Then Tampa,
Gruden.
Yeah.
I'm not a Bucs fan, but I was at the 2002 Super Bowl in San Diego. Gruden knew everything y'all were doing.
Yeah, and the thing about it, man, is we had worked on until Friday a totally different game plan. We had the
Domers about to fight over here.
Yep. We had worked on something totally different, and then Callahan decided at the last minute that we were going to run the same offense we had always ran.
Why? I mean, I was happy because I was.
Some of us said it was on purpose, But no, look, man, it was just a damnable weekend for us because we knew going into the game we didn't have a chance, because our offensive line hadn't had an opportunity to work on. These are the fastest, best defense in the history of the league at that particular time, and we knew it was going to be tough. We wanted to smash them out. That was a game plan, and just didn't work.
All right, let's finish with the pro. Who is the best football player, former NFLer, on the course, both here and in general? Because I know you play a good amount.
I think right now, I'm gonna give Andre Robinson some credit because he is playing incredible. I think yesterday he had 35 points. Today, not so much, but probably one of these kickers, man. You know what I mean? Ryan, Brett, these guys, they count, but they don't count, right? And we joke about this all the time. But those guys are obviously pretty good golfers, man, and they can get it around pretty good. So right now, out of the non-kickers, you're talking about Andre Roberts, but you got 3 or 4 guys up there who are fighting.
Eifert, don't forget Eifert. Eifert's in the top 10-ish.
You in top 10? Oh, my bad, bro. See, Tyler hasn't been around these tournaments. I haven't seen him.
Yeah, he's a newbie.
And so he's a newbie.
Okay.
I got to get used to that.
How do we get the football players to be able to compete with the baseball players?
Ooh.
It's tough. I mean, look at this big man. You know what I mean? Look how, all that tight muscles. I mean, we lift weights for a living. You know what I mean? It was mandatory. Unless you were a quarterback or a kicker or a punter, you didn't have to lift weights. But if you were any other position, you had to lift weights, man. And it's just so far the arm is going to go back here, And, these guys, man, they take their golf clubs on the trips with them.
True.
Come on, bro.
Pitchers are like kickers. They only play half the game. They're special teams players. That's why they're good. All right, before you let you go, You never wore? Did you ever wear gloves when you played?
My first year in the league,
And then you just taped your fingers.
Yeah. Well, only if it was cold weather, I wore them then. But
you wore the gloves.
Yeah.
If you played now, would you, with how good the gloves are, you would still not wear them. You just tape the fingers because you were kind of known for having the fingers.
You know, it really saved me.
And you got good fingers.
I don't have all.
Most receivers I know are all fingers are all.
Yeah, but if I tape both joints on both hands every practice, every game, the problem was this. You know, it wasn't catching; it was returning punts. So when I fumbled like two punts in one game, and I blamed it on the gloves, and it can't be me, right?
Yeah, of course.
I changed that up, but that little time of catching a punt and getting the ball tucked, because of those gloves, I literally was having to push the ball back, you know, because the gloves were so tackified. And that little time, I was getting hit, and the ball was coming out. So I took the gloves off, and I never fumbled again.
Now you're in the Hall of Fame. Now you're in every Hall of Fame.
I'm in the Hall of Fame.
Every Hall of Fame.
That's how it goes. Take the gloves off. You'll be in the Hall of Fame.
Words of advice from Tim Brown. Thank you, Tim. Great to see you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate the time.